only when necessary to get something done. And a lot of things are necessary, particularly if you're under the same roof. So you interact anyway. I mean, that's a given anyhow. So, but you seek this contact, by what you say and what you do from one minute to another, and try to make all of these contacts, whether you are under the same roof, in which case you'll have more contact, you might say in a house setting or something like that, than you would in a large museum-type building, where such as a factory or workplace that, say, a block long, and you interact with the foreperson or with your co-workers there. But make all of your contacts. You only seek the contact. The word seek, S-E-E-K. You only look to make these contacts when necessary. And make all the contacts have a constructive result. If black people everywhere right now did that, start concentrating, I'm only going to have something to say, I'm going to make contact with people deliberately, even in a house, going from room to room. I'm only going to say something that needs to be said. And that will cut down on what? A lot of misunderstanding. It will cut down on a whole lot of unnecessary arguments. It'll automatically do that. That's the reason for it. You should have a reason for doing everything that you do.
Mm-hmm.
Because you breathe every minute. Every breath that you take is a great gift from your Creator. So, you breathe. How many times have I been breathing since I've been on the planet? If someone would ask me, millions of times, I guess, but I couldn't give a figure. I'm breathing now. So how could I keep an accurate count of that?
Mm-hmm.
But every breath that you take, every time you exhale and inhale and exhale and inhale, this is all a gift. And every time you do that, inhale and exhale, not only just when you're talking to someone or something, every time you actually breathe, you are supposed to make that breath count for something of constructive value. Otherwise, you are taking up the Creator's precious time fooling with you. This is according to the code, according to logic, at all. You're on a job, and breathing is a part of that job. And every time it's like getting paid by the hour, you're supposed to be paying forward every time you breathe. Look at it that way. Why? Because if you stop breathing, you know what's going to happen. So you take breathing for granted. But that's not supposed to be free. You're supposed to be on a job. Every breath that you take, look at it that way. So in a house, you're interacting with people. Walking down the street, you're interacting with people, even if you're just making eye contact.
Mm-hmm.
I've spoken to people, white and non-white, just walking down the street, just two people passing each other. Now, I'll say good morning.
Okay.
All right, sometimes they say good morning to me, sometimes not. Sometimes people just roll their eyes and wonder what you're up to, okay? And that's to be taken for granted, too. I mean, that people will react that way because many times it's a danger signal when you're passing, depending on who it is you're passing on a street, on an isolated street. And all of us, decide of nowhere they want to speak to you, passing by you. All right? And sometimes, you're just being friendly, good morning, good evening, and people will speak back. But it's okay to do that. But every contact that every person has with another person, every breath that you take, every contact that you make should have a constructive effect, never a non-constructive effect. That's how you make the world a better place. make it the way it ought to be. That's the process if we're going to ever get it done. Just the little simple things you do every minute of every day. Not just looking forward to another grandiose meeting once every 5 years, have a huge convention, and everybody converges somewhere, on some island or in some place like, maybe Rome or someplace, and they all come there, and it's hallelujah time, and then everybody drifts back to the same old stuff they've been doing all the time, the same old chaos, the same killings, the same animosities, the same arguments. We need to stop that, period, and just make everything that you do each and every day, every contact that you make right there in your own house, have it quiet. Nobody's saying nothing. And when somebody does speak, make that something of maximum constructive value. Even if it's no more than, would you kindly pick your clothes up off the floor? All right. Why? Because somebody's going to trip over them. And they don't need to be there anyway. They need to be in the hamper.
Okay.
All right. And if you please. And be polite when you do it. Not shout from the other room, get in here and pick these clothes up. Now, that's not constructive. Because that's not going to get a constructive result.